Just want to take a second to talk about focus. So I subscribed to this guy Scott Young's blog. I was really inspired when he talked about doing this MIT challenge of basically going through a 4-year MIT course in 2 years at his own pace. And he wasn't going to get a degree from it, but he was going to learn everything that he wanted to learn. And this is something that I do very often. In fact, I'm doing my own personal PhD program, which maybe I'll tell everyone a little bit about. But I was really interested in this guy because he was really doing it, and people were catching on. He's spoken at TEDx, and he's done a lot of things. He's made really well for himself, and I commend him for that. And he sends out these newsletters, and one of his newsletters was about focus. And I read it, and I thought to myself, yeah, he's totally right. And what he was saying is that the key to success in all of our projects is focus, right? And he was saying it's beyond energy, it's beyond our knowledge, it's beyond everything like that. And the thing is that, yeah, he's pretty much right. Because if I know one thing, it's that if I'm doing mental exercises or competing at least with myself, memorizing things, and I'm not focused, it doesn't matter how strong my mind is. It doesn't matter what happens. Sometimes you just have those off days. I mean, look, we're human beings. We're not robots, right? You even look like at a bodybuilder, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I was talking to a bodybuilder yesterday about this. And even a bodybuilder goes into the gym and doesn't always have a day where they're pumping like crazy and they have a great workout. Sometimes they want to quit, and maybe even sometimes they do quit. And sometimes it's even best to quit and just to lay off because their mind isn't there. And if it's not there, they can't do their best work. And it's the same with everything, especially the things that are hard and require all of our attention. If we're not focusing our attention, then we can't succeed at them. And I know one thing is that learning requires attention. It requires focus. Of course, there is latent learning. I mean, Tolman taught us this. But the thing is that latent learning is not necessarily the most efficient way of learning because you can't guarantee that you're going to learn in a latent way. And let's just say that you do learn in a latent way. Well, fantastic, you're a genius, and this doesn't even apply to you, right? If everything you see sticks, then you don't have any issue learning stuff. Congratulations. And I was like that when I was younger. I'm not like that anymore. So I got to do some work to learn. So you got to focus, or I have to focus at least, if I want to get that work done. So focus is really important, but there's another step to that I think is even more important. And that is that when you divert all your energies, right, in different places, you waste time. I had a friend at USC named Tro, and Tro is a heroic student. Heroic, I truly mean that. He's heroic. And Tro would talk about how if you're going to be studying something, study that one thing, right? Without moving on to another, without even taking a break to leave. Don't do anything else but study that one thing. And when you're done, study the next thing, but don't switch them up, right? And sometimes I try to cheat and switch things up. I go, oh yeah, I teach this stuff, I know this stuff, and I'm better than it, right? But no, it's not true. We can never cheat these things, right? Because the second we try to cheat them, we realize how vital they are, how important they are. We cannot be above the law as much as we want to be, even if we preach the law. So this is important stuff to know. But, okay, even beyond that, let's go back to this thing with Tro for a second. So he says, okay, don't break it up. And he says, why? Why don't break it up? Because it's like creating sacred space. You create the space, and then you leave, and you come back, and well, guess what? Is the space still sacred and contained? No, it's not. You have to recreate it. So every time you break that space, you have to recreate that space and recreate that focus. So it's best to just stay there and work through it, right? And that means not working on a million things at once. If you got Facebook open and you're working on Facebook, you've got your phone on, you're answering text messages while you're working on a project or studying for something, I can guarantee you one thing, you're not going to study it as efficiently. I know when I study well, and I'm giving you a little secret here, I've got my stopwatch on and I'm going 5 minutes. I've got 5 minutes to complete this thing. And in those 5 minutes, I'm completing 100% and totally. And if I'm not thinking that intensely and I'm not focusing, well, guess what? A, I don't complete it in 5 minutes, and B, it might take me an hour to do it. It might take me an hour to do what I can do in 5 minutes. 5 minutes I can learn over 100 numbers, 100 random numbers. And those 100 random numbers can, be translation codes of a lot of things, but I can guarantee you one thing: when I'm not focused, it can take me an hour to learn 100 numbers. I can do it in 5 minutes, or it can take me an hour. Wow, that's a huge deal, right? And the difference between all of that is focus, because when I'm not focused, I can't remember it. And when I can't remember it, I can't learn it. And when I can't learn it, I'm not making progress, and I don't feel fulfilled and complete with the work that I'm doing. Because a lot of the work that I'm doing is learning. I learn in order to teach, because I'm a teacher, and that's what I do. So this is really, really important to me. And I have to be honest that I've been shirking it for a few weeks now. I thought to myself when I created this personal PhD program, all right, I'm going to work on one thing or two things every single day, like I was doing classes. You only have a few classes every day. You don't have all your classes every single day. You could, and with that structure, it might change things a little bit. But look, I'm doing this alone, and that's something that I could talk to you guys about in a different period, about how it's not good to do things alone. But, look, we can't be perfect, and we have to work with what we have, and we can utilize our resources to create our own coaches. But again, this is something that I'll talk about in another session, possibly. So anyways, we look at this thing and we go, well, all right, I want to do 50 things today. Well, part of doing those 50 things is going to take you away from every one thing that you're doing, because it's going to take a minute to settle in, right? Or you might get tired and distracted. If you get tired and distracted, and you're going to waste time with that one thing, and then maybe you're going to want to drag that time that you didn't spend in that to the next thing. And all of a sudden, you've broken your schedule, because every minute was scheduled and accounted for, but you didn't follow through with it. Well, not good, okay? And my girlfriend got on me about this, about being impeccable with your word. And in the men's group I'm a part of, that's one of the things that's super important. We're supposed to be in integrity and in accountability all the time. We show up on time. We keep our commitments, and our stretches are small and achievable. They're SMART. They are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And then I do that there and I get it, but then at home I go, I'm better than this. I like to shoot for the moon and hit the stars. And I do recommend that. I totally am right there for make your goals absurd and high and unrealistic, because then you're going to hit a lot harder as long as you understand how to do it or have support on the way. And that's what I do with a lot of my clients. I support them. I help them hit the moon and not just hit the stars. But the thing is that, for those of us who haven't chosen to take that sort of support, or don't have it in our lives, or are giving it so much that we don't have anyone to get it from, like myself, well, we have to find people maybe that we can utilize in our life, or we have to find systems in order to make that work for ourselves. And of course, I say that to you without giving you a concrete answer on it, but it's something to think about. Being impeccable with your word, right? And staying focused on everything. So much love, many blessings, and stay focused.